Hey, it's Jack Cummings. This is Jacked Up Comics with Jack Cummings. I'm Jack Cummings. And I want to thank everybody. This is volume 2. And I want to thank everybody for the words of encouragement and, the kind things you had to say. Also, the suggestions. And I'm not sure, what Walter Matthau reading the funnies meant. But anyway, whatever. Heard from my old friend Possum Johnson today. And I'm not sure why they called him Possum. But anyway, that's what they called him. Possum Johnson lives over on Mudsuck. And he went over to see him and on my way home from work. And he's losing his memory. His memory's getting bad. I stopped to see him a while back, and he was telling me how bad his memory was getting. And so today I asked him, I said, "Hey, Possum, how's your memory getting to be?" And he said, he said, "My memory actually is doing a whole lot better." And I said, "Really?" I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? I've heard working puzzles. I've heard if you work puzzles, that'll help your memory and stuff. And he said, they put me on a medication. And I said, "Well, I didn't know that there was, I didn't know there was a medication that would help your memory. I mean, I've heard of that ginkgo biloba or whatever that is. And I thought that was just, a hack, wasn't a real deal." And he said, no. He said, this is prescription stuff. And I've tried lion's mane. And I've tried a few things. Seems like my memory ain't what it used to be. And so I said, "Well, tell me what that is, because I think I'd like to maybe see if I could get a prescription for it." And he said, "Oh man," he said, "You asked me too fast." And I said, "Okay." And he sat there for a minute, and he said, "Man," he said, "what's that?" He said, "What's that flower?" And I said, "Flower?" And he said, "Yeah, he said, people grows it in their yard and stuff." And I said, "You talking about tulips?" And he said, No. He said, "It's not tulips." He said, "People wears it on their lapel and stuff. Like if they're wearing a suit or something." I said, "Oh, carnation." And he said, "No." He said, it's not a carnation." And I said, he said, "It's red." He said, "A lot of times," he said, "they're red." And I said, "Is it Rose?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Hey, Rose, what's the name of that medication that they put me on?" Anyway, let's see here. This is our Anita Caption cartoon for tonight. And as always, if you've got a comment, please put it down there in the comments. If you've got a caption for this, and I'll just tell you, I wasn't going to post this tonight, but I went through. There was 30 Anita Caption, 30 Anita Caption captions, and man, I just had a great time, and so I wanted to share them. And again, that was how it. I was taking the copyrights off of them in the last video, and I just decided I'd quit fooling with that and just go ahead and leave them on there. And if you're new here, these are cartoons that I drew 20 years ago, and was trying to get enough to get them published. And now I realize I can just publish them myself. And I wanted to gather them up for my grandkids. And anyway, so that they could have them. That's why we're calling them volumes instead of episodes. But anyway, let's get right to the countdown. We're going to count down 7, and then we'll end with the Anita Captions. Okay, so number 7, spam jerky. Oh, no thanks. Clifton hated visiting his wife's relatives. I've never had spam jerky. I'm not sure that I want it. Let's see here. Harry always ended his arguments the same way. And you can kiss my big hairy foot. I guess if you had a big hairy foot like that, that would be how you'd end them, wouldn't it? Let's see here. I'm bored. The guy says, "Oh, well, he is bored. You got a whole board right through him." All right, let's do those guys. This is one of my favorite those guys, although I'm sure I've forgotten several of them. Let's see here. "Doc, what exactly is arthritis?" "It's the first stage of rigor mortis." That's refreshing, isn't it? Let's see. I think I got another of those guys here for you. Let's see. "Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to Billy Bob's Lard Bucket. Do you have reservations?" "Well, I certainly do, but he's never eaten here before. So what are you going to do?" At Billy Bob's Lard Bucket, my daughter and I were traveling one day, and we were starving. And I came up over snow, and I said, "You know what?" I said, I'm about ready to say that whatever we find up this road, I'm going to eat at it, but I'm afraid that it'll be a place like Billy Bob's Lard Bucket." And so that became a running gag for me. I'd always say it was the home of lard on a stick. So we'll probably touch on that before we get done with all these volumes. So anyway, this one was inspired by my brother. So if you're offended by it in any way, just look up my brother, Robert. And he came up with the idea. I tweaked it a little bit. But as always, I try to count these cartoons down. And this is, apart from the Anita captions, I think this is probably the best cartoon that I've shown this week. Dr. Carlos was certain that he was nearing the hive of the African plumber beetle when he noticed a small crack in his windshield. Let's see here. All right, so now we're ready for the Anita captions. And again, if you've got a caption, a comment, please just put it in the comments. And if take a look at the comments, see if anybody's thrown any in there. All right, so here we go with the Anita captions. There's 30 of these, and I tried to sort them from the ones I found the least funny to the best, but there was just too many. So let's just see what happens. Okay. All right, here we go. Did you get Geico insurance by any chance? Okay, we dress like relics. But if you really want retro, take a gander in your rearview mirror. I think Dino wants his glasses back. Karma is real, and it's right behind you. That's pretty good. Is there someplace I can get some smokes here? Like that'd be what you'd worry. Well, I guess you would. If you was a smoker, it'd be like, man, I got to have a cigarette. Got a Godzilla or T-Rex or something follow me. Spock, I know we need to get this extinct plant for the antidote, but having Scotty beam us back to the ship for a minute is very logical. You put the beads from my hippie curtain in your car. May I ask why? Would you please just let me drive? I'm not too lit. I can do it. Turn left. He doesn't turn left well. That's pretty good. Since when do they make teardrop glasses? Grandma, this would be the perfect time to use the pedal on the right. Okay. Let's see here. I think he wants his dice. You could probably drive better if there were lenses in those frames you're wearing. Don't you just hate it when your pet Godzilla runs after the car when you leave? Step on it, Granny. The laundry closes in 5 minutes. Do you ever get the feeling we're being followed? Yeah, I guess you're right. It does just look like a guy wearing a lizard suit, but I still don't think it makes any difference. Just keep going. Hey, man, objects are really closer than they appear. That's when the angry lizard did the Russian Cossack dance on the roof of the car. Well, I am fairly sure. I mean, Godzilla can shoot fire out of his mouth. This thing doesn't shoot fire. I think it's just a T-Rex. Still, don't stop or nothing. I told you not to cut him off. Those things have the worst road rage that you can imagine. Not again. That's pretty good. I mean, just sometimes the simplest things is the best. Anyway. Okay, Mrs. Johnson, so you look in the rearview mirror and see a huge T-Rex running up to the car to tear off your head and drink your blood. So what do? Slowly apply pressure to the gas pedal until it goes all the way to the floor. If we survive this, we are going to get such a great refund. I mean mega. I'm beginning to remember this dream. Next, the car runs out of gas, and that big lizard thingy rips off the roof and bites off your head. Mom, dude, you're right. I admit taking a few tokes, but that really is a T-Rex chasing us. After 273 monotonous miles in a car with the eerie Latrina Castile, Freddie Macarena was relieved to see a hungry T-Rex coming their way. All right. So then I told her that I was tired of being married to a giant lizard and I split. I guess that's the last I'll ever see of her. I hate these Godzilla cartoons. First off, the special effects suck. Then the stinking things are dubbed over into English. I mean, just look at me. Even when I quit talking, my mouth is still open. Give me a break. And this is mine, but I laughed. I don't know which way you should go. I guess just keep following that herd of screaming Japs. Okay, so that's it for this episode. I'd like to thank our sponsor. They was really upset. Our sponsor, of course, is Juicy Planet Intergalactic Eatery and Spaghetti House, home of the Possum Platter. And all new for a limited time, you can get the Country Fried Fairy Dinner with slaw, potato, fried French fries, and hush puppies. Or it's also available with mashed potatoes and sawmill gravy. But after the last volume I put out, they got up with me and they said, you're supposed to say, tell them Cletus sent you. So tell them Cletus sent you. All right. So that's it for tonight. Merry heart doeth good like a medicine. I hope you had a laugh. I hope you had a smile. But a broken spirit drieth the bones. May God bless you and fill your days with joy and laughter.